All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day one of IPCon. My name is Ryan Dunford, product manager here at Miro. I'm joined by industry legend Nicholas Erk from Radwin. We're going to be discussing the future of fixed wireless. Now, before I hand over to Nick, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on the history of Radwin and Miro. Radwin and Miro have been partners for many, many years, and what they've done is they've helped to establish a certain precedent within the wireless ISP market when it comes to quality, when it comes to capacity, and when it comes down to deployment. Radwin has helped evolutionize the WISP market and specifically helped other providers, other brands up their game, essentially, because Radwin has been dominating not just the telecommunications industry, but they have been at the forefront of fixed wireless for many, many years. And just recently, they've started, within the past few years, they've started to grow their WISP market. Fortunately for me, I have been a fan of Radwin from the outside looking in ever since my first early days of working in Miro. I have always been a big fan of Radwin, specifically because once it gets sold, it's sold. Many of the customers that I experienced in the early days would buy Radwin, and the only time that they would contact me was to buy the next Radwin. And I was given the privilege and the honor of becoming the Radwin product manager just recently. And ever since then, it's been one hell of a ride. Nick and his team have been absolutely fantastic. They've helped me get up to where I need to be. And what they've also done is they've shown me not just the little incremental part of Radwin that I knew, they showed me full end-to-end why this product is not just at the forefront of fixed wireless, but in forms of technology and deployment. They are leagues ahead of their competitors. And it really is an amazing opportunity to listen to their industry experts, their legends. I mean, within the WISP market, Nick's known as the Bill Gates of wireless, and also the Led Zeppelin of wireless, because he's so cool. And I'm not just saying that, he really is a great guy. But before I blow any more smoke in his direction, I will open up the floor to Nick. Nick, thank you for joining us. And of course, thank you for giving Miro the opportunity to promote your brand within our region and to help grow the wireless communications market. Over to you.
Thanks, Ryan. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for your introduction, Ryan. You're a hard act to follow. Certainly, I appreciate everyone's participation. I appreciate that you've taken the time to attend the Radwin session, and hopefully you'll see tremendous value in what we'll share today, and then it will start a conversation. You know, like anything, if you're going to buy anything, if you're going to invest in anything, you should make sure that you do your research and that any money that you spend is the right money that you spend and that you should spend it once. I'm doing some renovations at my house, and the tiles that are put into my main bedroom, I have to now pull out if I want it to be the same tiles as the rest of the house, because they've stopped making my tiles. So, you know, do the investigation, make sure that the investment that you make is secure, and that you don't have to be pulling things out. But for today, I just wanted to just start off by saying that, you know, like building a house, you need to obviously check that you've got the budget and that you don't run out of bricks. Building a network, it's the same thing. You want to build a network once, and then bill your customers and enjoy billing those customers with having complete control over your OpEx. OpEx is the one thing that can get away from a business and can ruin a business. One thing I was told early on in my career is that most businesses spend 80% of their revenue on keeping the lights on, and only 20% to innovation. We focus on helping our customers innovate. It is our go-to strategy. And so if you're going to build a bridge, if you're going to build a toll bridge, if you're going to build a network, and if people use your lanes, you want to make sure that it's robust enough, it's got enough lanes, that you build it once, and then you have your customers enjoying the service for years and years to come. So you build in old money and you build in new money, as Warren Buffett says. Today, the agenda is quite simple. I want to talk to you a bit about how our point of view is on where the industry is going and what is shaping the industry, a little bit about Radwin, some hardware solutions, and also some software that drive some of the operational costs, drive those down. I'll mention one or two of those. I've got a short video on that. And then on the Radwin Duo, it's very exciting. The industry first that we're proud to announce, and we're very proud to show you today, which is a real game changer in the industry. The one thing about Radwin is that if we cannot give you a competitive advantage, there is no point to Radwin. If we cannot give you a bleeding edge, cutting edge, leading edge solution that enables you in your marketplace to outcompete, then there is no point to Radwin. Now, historically, the movers and shakers, the companies that have changed the market have been quick to see where the gap is and then to capitalize on that gap. But to have sustainability, Radwin's been in the industry for over 23 years, is we have to keep on reinventing the technology, we have to keep on reinventing ourselves and being relevant. So we're helping our customers in their marketplace be relevant. So just to give you our point of view on the fourth industrial revolution, years ago, before as newspapers were coming around, people how they would get the information is they'd go to the sports events, they'd watch it, they would take notes, they would then go and write that out and it would get printed, and you would read your news the next day. You would only know what was happening the day before, the day after. And then, of course, with typewriting and IBM changing the world in terms of the typewriter, obviously information could flow a lot quicker. So you could have a morning newspaper and then an afternoon newspaper. And IBM changed the world again with the mainframe in the 80s with secretarial tools and word processing, and all of a sudden where you did your work, where you did your job was in this monolithic building where everyone would pile in and then they would crunch in, they would clock their time card, come in, clock it out, and obviously process and do their business. And then really it's Bill Gates and IBM, but Steve Jobs changed the world when he put a full browser on a mobile phone. And all of a sudden, the world started to realize that you didn't have to have a clock in, clock out. You could measure people by productivity, and bring your own device became the norm. And now you didn't have to get stuck in a monolithic building. You could actually work anywhere. You could work anytime. You could be productive 24 hours a day. And this is a fundamental change. And it's a fundamental change because networks have had to evolve. Networks, most of the networks, the fixed wireline networks, were designed to deliver voice, 12 kilobits per second. In the world in which we live today, this video call is coming to you over a much higher throughput, a much higher bandwidth, where latency is critically important, jitter is critically important. And that's just because we want to talk, we want to have a conversation where you can see and I can share my screen and whatever. But if you consider that we're moving into a world in this age of robotics, automation, where hospitals, doctors need real-time video to help with procedures, to help with operations. It's a completely fundamental world where operators, where WISPs or ISPs need to be at the forefront of technology. Now, there is a fundamental change in the marketplace because previously AT&T would roll out a network in the States or Verizon, and they would pick up 20 million customers in Los Angeles. But if you go 20 kilometers outside of Los Angeles, there's no internet, zero, because the ARPU was just too high. So rather go and spend the budget on addressing the 20 million. And the big businesses like Amazon, they were fine with that because when they started up their business to go and get 20 million people in Los Angeles and 8 million people in New York or 18 million people, however many it is in New York, was perfectly fine. But now there's 20 million Americans who live outside of where there is broadband services. They still use dial-up. And so what we're seeing is the companies that previously relied on the operators, they've decided that they don't need the operators. Amazon, which has, and apologies for the expression, has more money than God, has decided to go and create their own broadband network. Why? Because they don't want to wait for AT&T. They don't want to wait for China to close them off, if that's the case. They want to make sure that they're able to deliver their services, their business, and their business model without being reliant necessarily on the traditional telco operators. So all of these companies, funny enough, have a strategy. But communications become so critical that recently, as recent as July, OneWeb ran into some trouble, and SoftBank decided to not invest further in OneWeb. The British government decided to get involved and invested £400 million in OneWeb. Why? Because you need to make sure, even as a country, as a business, that your people are connected, because connectivity is critical. If you're not a part of the digital age, you're almost nowhere. And so fundamentally, we're seeing a shift in the competitive landscape and how broadband is delivered and where it's being delivered. In this space, both Facebook and Microsoft have made a financial investment in Radwin. We are the only microwave vendor that they have made a financial investment in. Why? They did their due diligence. They looked at the products that we've brought to market, the history of the last 23 years of having industry first, how we've changed the backhaul market in delivering in 5 gigahertz E1s, TDM traffic as a complete game changer that brought and lowered the cost for delivering backhaul for the mobile market and fixed market. And where we are with our beamforming that we were first to market with in 2015, completely revolutionized the game. And they've backed Radwin to help them disrupt the fixed wireless technology market and be the change that enables our customers to deliver lower cost, more reliable services and solutions, whether it be from deep rural all through to where it's high density urban. So very exciting times, and Radwin certainly wants to see ourselves as at the forefront of the technology change. I said a moment ago, we've had 20 odd years of industry firsts. I would like to talk to you about these, and we can go into each one in more detail in a longer session, but certainly these have been game changers. These have been disruptors. We had beamforming to ourselves for nearly 4 years in the marketplace, delivering high capacity, reliable services where other technologies just couldn't even get a link. Again, being able to change how our customers are able to deliver service where previously they couldn't either change or they couldn't bring in a technology that was cost effective. So it's not just in the ISP space. We're actually being used across different industries where customers are embracing this fourth industrial revolution, like Komatsu, where they want to be the first to market with an autonomous vehicle. And in fact, this vehicle now is in mines in Australia. So we were critical in their connecting this vehicle to the command and control room, where we took petabytes of information off their test vehicles and delivered it to the R&D center. Now they are going to change the world of mining. They are today the most competitive mining company in terms of the haulage, and because of our collaboration and association with them. So we're not just on the one side helping ISPs deliver more megabits and clearer, quicker, less pixelated Netflix, but we're also helping our customers change the game. And this is my favorite video, and hopefully you can see the video. It's a short video in Hyperloop One, and then I'll talk a bit about what we're doing for Hyperloop One.
My name is Josh Geigel, and I'm the Chief Technology Officer and co-founder at Virgin Hyperloop One. We are building for a fundamentally different travel experience. Pods will carry passengers at airline speeds between cities at an affordable cost. On demand, direct-to-destination journeys, they'll be so comfortable you can ride the entire trip without spilling a drop of your coffee. Throughout history, the great engineering and technological feats of the world have been dismissed as good in theory, not in reality. Traditionally, the World Fair has historically challenged this assumption. We are very excited to premiere our Virgin Hyperloop One passenger experience at the Dubai World Expo 2020. We know that our system will be the backbone of the smart mobility revolution, and Expo visitors will be the very first to see. This experience will give future customers the chance to interact with the pods, which will mirror the experiences that they're going to see in commercial operations.
So Hyperloop One selected Radwin, the same product that you can buy today and deploy on your high sites, to connect not only and help build the tunnels for Hyperloop One, but also connect the trains themselves to deliver Wi-Fi to the passengers. Now, they tested us against all of our peers, and we were by far and away delivered the most reliable and highest capacity at the fastest speeds than any of our peers. In fact, after their phase 1 testing, they selected Radwin, so they didn't proceed with anyone else in terms of a second phase. And we're testing at the speed that they can currently get in their tunnels. Obviously, the tunnel needs to be longer to get the higher speeds, but certainly we see the collaboration with a company like Hyperloop is highlighting that the technology is being used, the same technology that you can put on your tower today, to change the world, to be a game changer in terms of the fourth industrial revolution and taking the world forward. So what are the solution advantages? And excuse me a second, I have someone who's just visited me. Need to tell them to please give me 5 minutes. So we started the business, so Sharon started the business with focusing on taking 5 gigahertz, the 802.11 ecosystem, to carriers. Now, I'm sure those of you who know a transmission manager in a fixed or mobile carrier is a very difficult person to please. And we built our business in delivering an 802.11 ecosystem, but we built into it our sync. So we were able to synchronize not only just on the tower, but across the network, so intra-site and inter-site synchronization, which was an industry first in 5 gigahertz, and be able to deliver E1s over 5 gigahertz traffic, over 5 gigahertz spectrum. And this has been used by mobile operators to deliver 2G, 3G services globally. So a real game changer. We're able to lower the cost of transport massively in operators without any sacrifice of uptime and availability. With that in mind, we've now looked at the market and we see a big gap to help our customers with in sub 1 gigahertz. There's TD white space, so we'll see next year, April, operators will be able to actually deploy TD white space in South Africa. They're already able to do so in some of the markets, including the UK and America. But there's 218 megahertz of spectrum in sub 1. There's 405 megahertz in 5 gigahertz. And now coming later on, or it's available now, but our product is coming later on in the year, is millimeter wave, and there's 9 gigahertz of spectrum between 57 and 66 that is available to use. And the same ecosystem for Radwin. So in 5 gigahertz, which I'll focus on from now, but it's the same operational tools. It's the same ecosystem. So someone who knows how to use 5 gigahertz will know how to use a Radwin in TV white space or in 60 gigahertz. But in 5 gigahertz, which I'll focus on now, we have some massive advantages. So unparalleled interference immunity in the Jet Duo, which delivers between 20 and 25 dB interference immunity. It's unparalleled in the industry. You can put a Radwin Duo on any tower in the country and you'll deliver service to your customers. And that is a fact. And I enjoy saying this, and I'm sorry that my competitors aren't in the same room to be able to have the right of response, but we've never lost a POC where we are on the same tower in the same conditions to deliver service to the same customer. And we've never lost a POC in those conditions. Our radios are designed and developed so that operators can deliver unsurpassed performance regardless of the spectrum, being licensed or unlicensed. And today we're still taking that game and moving that game forward with the Duo. And delivering over 128 customers per base station, 512 per 4-sector high site, service up to 40 kilometers. We've got a major operator in this country who's got multiple links at over 20 kilometers, 25, 28 kilometers. It's not the norm, but absolutely leave no customer behind. So be able to deliver customers not just that are nearby, but some customers that are further away and not having the additional cost of tower and infrastructure. And then my strong suggestion is, if jumbo frames are important to you, see who in the market can deliver over 9,000 MTU size, so that you can deliver jumbo frames to your customers. Subscribers that go up to 500 megabits per second. And then this is very unique for us. symmetric or asymmetric service in the same sector at the same time to two different customers. This is unheard of. So you can have a business customer that has an SLA and you can deliver him a dedicated 10 meg, 20 meg, 40 meg pipe or more. But you can have a best effort type customer, a consumer or a residential user who wants more downlink as an example. And you can deliver asymmetric traffic to them. And that can be on a best effort basis. So they might take a 50 meg package, but if they need 10 meg, 5 meg, 20 meg now, they'll get it. And when they do the speed test, they'll get their 50 meg. So we are very unique in that we can deliver both to the enterprise market and the residential market with the same infrastructure, the same base station, the same subscriber. And then any ratio, yes.
If I wouldn't mind just interjecting, I love this part of your presentation, and we really can go deep into Radwin, but let's talk about product. And the two products I'd like for you to discuss with us is the multi-sector and TV white space. What are we looking forward to there?
Okay, so let's go into the TV white space. So we've just concluded our trials in Israel. We were delayed due to COVID. We were expecting to launch the product in May in the United States. In fact, go to trial in February in the States, and then to have the product officially launched in May. The good news is the product is delayed, but the product is better than we thought. So in our initial testing, and we only did testing in Israel at less than 7 kilometers, but one of the tests that we did where the 5 gigahertz duo could not get a link through 60 meters of vegetation at 4 kilometers, the TV white space could deliver 100 megabits per second. So we're very excited about that. We've also now in trial at the moment in New York City with Teragraph, which is our Facebook product. And there we were able to demonstrate 3.6 gigs, 1.8 gigs full duplex. It's a symmetric product only with less than 2 milliseconds latency. So very much so looking forward to bringing both TV white space, high capacity for severe in-loss conditions, and then Radwin, which is our Teragraph product, which we've developed with Facebook for the last 3 years. And that will be a game changer for high capacity, high density environments where the cost of fiber is too high, or the cost of trenching and the associated cost and the ROI is too high. And then based on that, we're very excited that we're working with both Android and with the Apple ecosystem. We're waiting for the SDKs to catch up, but we're excited to be trialing our augmented reality for the 60 gigahertz. We believe that this will be ready by 2021. I'll show you a quick, because of time, a quick sample. So if you look here, this is an installer's mobile phone. They've got the WinTouch application on the mobile phone. We've had WinTouch on our mobile phones since 2017. And what is happening here is that they open up the, and based on the radio planning, it will be able to pick which is the nearest base station and which is the best base station or which is the best node to connect to. And so it really means that someone can arrive on site and within a few seconds be able to determine where in a building they want to install the node or the subscriber unit and which is the best base station that will deliver service to. The first generation of this product will only have the map. The second generation of this product will have the full augmented reality. And so we're waiting for Android and Apple's SDKs to give us better distance. The values at the moment is accurate up to 20 meters, but we need accuracy up to a few hundred meters for Teragraph. So we're very much focused on a strategy that is sub 1 gigahertz for rural, remote, and for NLOS. We're at 60 gigahertz for dense urban, and then of course 5 gigahertz for high capacity broadband in both near line of sight, no line of sight, line of sight for a mix. So it's an overlay network. Now, for those of you who know, our technology really in 2015 was a game changer in that we were the first to market to bring beamforming to the market. So there's an 8-degree beam, and in jet, that 8-degree beam in the side lobes of the antenna, we have interference rejection. That interference rejection is around 14 dB. Now, what that means is if an interferer comes into the side lobe, in the null of the antenna, it rejects it. And this is why we can work in very extreme noisy environments. We did some other innovations. So we also brought dynamic channel bandwidth selection, which means that independently in the uplink and the downlink, the base station will say, I'll talk to you in 80 megahertz, but the subscriber can talk back to the base station in 20 megahertz or 40 megahertz. It's independent in the uplink and the downlink, both the channel bandwidth as well as the modulation. So two different subscribers can talk to the base station, one at 40, one at 80, one at 20, one at 40, and it's independent. So no service is affected to one subscriber affects another subscriber. So complete independence per subscriber unit, per traffic direction in the uplink and the downlink. This is unique for Radwin. So the radio determines what channel bandwidth the subscriber should be spoken to. And then last year we launched our second generation beamforming antenna. And you can see the antenna patterns here on the right-hand side. This is a real game changer. So we've gone from 14 dB interference rejection to between 20 and 25 dB interference rejection on the second generation antenna. The difference is that in terms of performance, you'll have a performance increase of between 25% and 290% performance improvement over the jet. So a massive game changer for us. So we've really been able to reduce the side lobes on that beam, and the benefit of that is obviously more interference rejection.
Sorry, Nick, I can just interrupt. Sorry for interrupting. For the sake of time, I just wanted to let all the participants know, because I see we've climbed up to over 40 participants. If everyone can just pay attention, Radwin is unlike any of our other brands. A lot of our other brands are doing take-a-lot vouchers, all very boring stuff. Radwin has offered two very good quality drones. So if you are in attendance to this webinar, you qualify to win those drones. I'm just going to need everyone to look into the chat box. I've put the link there. If you could just follow that link, we're actually offering two drones. So if you enter, you stand a pretty high chance of winning a very cool drone. I've won a drone from them before. It's very cool. It adds value to your life, and it's also something you can show your friends. But Nick, I think in terms of wrapping up, what would you say are the three most exciting product developments coming from Radwin in the future?
So Ryan, this is my last slide. So if I can show this, and then we can wrap.
Cool, go for it.
So thank you. So this is an industry first. So with the Duo, we've got two carriers in one chassis. And Myro has stock of the Duo, so I invite you to test this out. But this is an industry first, and this is a game changer. We are the first in the market to offer dynamic switching between carriers. What does that mean? That means that in the downlink, should you have capacity degradation, an interferer comes in and starts to affect the service of a subscriber, so there is either interference or link loss, on its own, the base station will automatically switch that subscriber from frequency 2 to frequency 1. It will change the carriers because there's two carriers in one chassis. That feature is unique in the industry. There's a number of advantages to that. Obviously, is in terms of the service availability, it's unsurpassed. We're talking about switching the subscriber in less than 1 second. So no human intervention. Interferer comes in, the radio determines, the interference level is too high, we'll just move the subscriber. And this means that the jet can't overcome the interference for that particular subscriber, even with the additional 20 to 25 dB interference immunity. But what happens in a different scenario? What happens at rush hour? So all of a sudden, a lot of customers are now coming into the network, and you've got some residential customers, and they've turned on Netflix. So guess what happens? As the one carrier is maybe overloaded, you've got more customers that have started to stream, automatically you'll load balance. So the two carriers will look and say, I can take more capacity, and the subscriber will then switch to the other carrier. Those of you who enable radar detection or DFS, this is very nice in that if a radar is detected either in the subscriber side or in the base station side, again, if the interferer is in 5.4 or the radar is detected in 5.4, the subscriber will automatically switch to the other carrier that might be in 5.8. And we'll do this in the uplink and in the downlink. This is unique to Radwin. And in terms of managing your network and having been able to go home at night, go and putting your head down on the pillow and not worrying about your customers being up, this is a complete game changer. So I'm finished. The exciting bits here, we can obviously share with you far more of the technical detail, but I really encourage you. The Jet Duo will beat anything that you put on a tower. in terms of throughput performance and interference immunity. And then now with the frequencies, the carrier switching, you have a network that cannot be surpassed in terms of reliability and availability. So thank you for your time, and Ryan, over to you.
Thank you very much, Nick. It's always a pleasure to listen to you discuss Radwin. Unfortunately, we are pressed for time, but I would just like to thank everyone that has joined us for this webinar session. We will be in contact with you within the next few days, just to obviously summarize everything that was discussed in these relevant sessions. I would like to motivate everyone to follow up and to continue engaging with IPCon. We've got a whole host of very valuable new information, and just like what Nick's done here, he's come in and he said, listen, these are the things to look forward to. So we really have got a lot of exciting product developments within Radwin that are coming through. So please keep your ear as close to the ground as possible. Speak to Ryan from Miro, speak to the sales guys from Miro. Let's get you up on board Radwin. We've actually created a very affordable means of getting certified on Radwin. There has never been a better time to invest in Radwin because the scale of which networks are increasing and expanding is unparalleled. We've never experienced a part of our age where internet has become so fundamental and so important to so many people, not just home users, but businesses alike. And I thank Nick and his team from Radwin for helping us deliver not just high quality products, but high quality support through to our customers. Nick, you guys are a star. Thank you for everything that Radwin does for Miro and for our market. And I'd like to invite everyone to join the Cambium webinar coming up next.
So Ryan, just for those who do win the drones, would you please just share a picture? We'd like to see you once. So thank you Ryan, thank you everybody for your attendance.
Cool. Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic day, and please enjoy the rest of IPCon.